When you play Thumper, it's easy to lose sight of the track. This is what happens when you reach the climax of each level, and the endless road that you've been screaming down begins to disappear. The horizon, which you can never quite reach, changes into something else. For a moment, the track disappears. For a moment, you're at peace. But peace is short-lived in Thumper, and as the eternal straight line curves away from you, something emerges just out of sight. Crackhead. A strange, gaping maw, and it looks like the track is coming out of its mouth. Maybe it is, and maybe when you kill it, and you will kill it, you'll finally be free. But you're not. You'll never be free. In Thumper, you are the nameless Beetle, but more than having no name, the Beetle has no form. It was only in researching for this script that I learned that Thumper's protagonist even has a name. I still don't think it looks, acts, or feels much like a beetle. I've always called it the Bullet, a symbol of pure violence. Thumper defines itself as a rhythm violence game, but it takes a while for the rhythm to get you. At first, this is entirely about violence, from the brutal industrial hellscape of a soundtrack to the thunderous sound that comes from hitting beats at just the right time. But once you spend enough time staring down Thumper's endless highway, its rhythms become clear, unlocking themselves like so many of the steel gates that stand in your path. This is a world of pure abstraction. Strange clouds change colour as levels progress, and there are moments where the track itself seems to mutate, as if the world itself is changing, evolving, as if the world would like to kill you, and it will kill you. In early stages, the track is simple. A few beats and turns and walls that you need to navigate, guiding the Beetle towards those fleeting moments of peace. This, of course, is short-lived. The Beetle, it seems, will never stop. Even when the Beetle is wounded by curves in the road, by serpents, by laser beams, it refuses to slow down. When it crashes, misses a beat, turns at the wrong time, something interesting happens. The Beetle begins to break. As it takes damage, something about its form becomes clear. Its relentless, reflective, aerodynamic surface is a coating, something protective. At the moment of impact, a layer of this shell breaks off. If there's something lurking within it, some living organism that might feel pain, it's only through this pain that we might be able to glimpse it. But even as the Beetle comes to pieces, whatever soul might lurk there remains hidden from view. Ironically, it's in beating levels, getting those propulsive, aggressive beats note perfect, that you're able to restore some of the Beetle's broken shell. It glows brighter, repairs itself. Violence sustains the Beetle. This might be why the pauses between levels are so brief, but the pause exists, and in many ways it's the pause that's interesting. A moment where the rhythm of the game is allowed to stop, where the violence is allowed to stop. As the Beetle keeps roaring down this neon-drenched, flashing highway, whether or not it's possible to get off the road isn't entirely clear. The Beetle's continued desire to drive and to destroy leaves us with one conclusion. We must imagine the Beetle happy. In one of the foundational essays of absurdism, a philosophy that finds rational people in conflict with an irrational universe, Albert Camus, a man who is way too attractive to be a philosopher, retells the myth of Sisyphus, a figure from ancient Greek mythology, condemned by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill, only for it to fall back down for all eternity. Camus uses Sisyphus to ask if life is worth living, and what meaning, if any, can be found in a task that's impossible to complete. With his endless loops of climbing and falling, Sisyphus was, in many ways, the OG speedrunner of getting over it. Getting over it mirrors Sisyphus's narrative of ascendancy, which inevitably leads to crashing down to earth. But in many ways, that's the point. In a conversational monologue that unfolds as you progress through Bennett Foddy's strange, unforgiving assemblage of a mountain, he discusses the influence behind the game, and what it means to make mountains, and of course, what it means to fall from them.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over.
He He discusses having a space to pause, take a breath. He'll be waiting. These are the moments that also fascinated Camus as he wonders what Sisyphus might have thought or felt as his boulder rolled down the hill again, and again, and again. At the very end of his long effort measured by skyless space and time without depth, the purpose is achieved. Then Sisyphus watches the stone rush down in a few moments toward the lower world, whence he will have to push it up again towards the summit. He goes back down the plane. It is during that return, that pause, that Sisyphus interests me. The same thing is true in Thumper, with the game so light on narrative, so abstract in its approach to space, time, character. The Beetle takes on an almost mythical form. The bosses that it faces become all the more unsettling and abstract. And the final level seems to echo this idea, that the Beetle's road might go on forever. Like Camus with Sisyphus, we might be leaving the Beetle at the foot of a mountain. As Camus says, one always finds one's burden again. For the Beetle, the burden is the exact same thing that keeps them alive: violence. It propels them endlessly forward in a loop that seems unbreakable. There is something uniquely thrilling about a game like Thumper. The intensity of its soundtrack, the increasingly violent force with which you'll hammer A or X on your controller, the almost hypnotic power of its rhythms once the game gets its hooks inside of you. To play Thumper is, in many ways, to become a mirror of the Beetle, to see yourself reflected back through its shining, aerodynamic shell, to embrace the uncertainty and violence of the game's nightmarish world, to stare its horrors in the face, horrors that seem to be giving birth to the slick, chromatic track that will be your home forever, to give in to the rhythms of violence, to accept that peace will be hard-won and short-lived. Because of this, not in spite of it, one must imagine the Beetle happy.